Hello, and welcome back. Today, I'm going to catch you up on what I've been doing so far, and then we're going to look at what's behind me there and start our next island. So to catch you up, there is actually a good amount to take a look at. Let's reveal. I've built this house here. So last time we were here, we had this stone generator, but now we have this house because I needed something to house. Well, let's take a look. You might notice my pickaxe is a little more repaired than last time, and that is because I made a XP farm. And we can test this out. Let's put that in our offhand. The one thing that I did not anticipate is you don't want fire aspect on your sword, so I have this other diamond sword here to help. And if you push this button, nothing happens. Nothing at all. Okay, well, dang it. Okay. Also, before we do that, we would need to pop this open and click right there. And just ignore the pain sounds. They love it. We're just keeping them warm. Let's go to the back real quick. We have a little door here for some wiring. Well, that's why. No, it's not. Up. Then we gotta go around over here and hop up. Take a look. Oh, well, we're missing a redstone right there. Oh, what's the easiest way to get out of here? Probably the door that I made. Okay, let's fix this real quick. And so, this is a fairly common experience farm. What's happening is the armadillos are rolled up because there is a... Let's take a look at him right now. A zombie piglin right here. The fearmongerer. And then when we press that button, it's going to throw a splash potion of infestation, which every time they take a bit of damage, there's a chance a silverfish will spawn. And then what we do is we trap the silverfish in the two little chambers around this armor stand. So they'll pop out here and here. And if we had a better sword, like with sweeping edge, it would be a little bit better. But let's just test it. And you see... And it's not even maxed out to be the best it can be. So we'll just throw that in our offhand. And start swinging. You can see when we swing, there's like an area of effect that it attacks. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and go through this whole potion real quick, and we'll see where we end up level-wise. Okay, I think it's all over. So once you're done, if you press this and you get your shovel out, you can put the fire out because we don't want to keep those guys in the fire all the time. That's just cruel. What we're doing isn't cruel at all. So you can see we got to level 35. I don't remember what we started at, but that was also with repairing a bunch of our tools. So you can get a lot of levels by using that sort of farm. What I've done over in this section of the building is create a little area where you can craft those potions. So we have a little netherwort farm. And we'll take a look. We have our netherwort storage, our stone storage. Let's just grab one. And our gunpowder storage, which we need to obviously fill. We got our blaze powder, which filters in the side. We have our glass. Let's grab a couple bottles. We'll grab the ones out of there, put in our new ones. And if you just touch this hopper and you put them in an order, 1, 2, 3, that'll brew them up so that we have 3 more in the next batch. And then over here, we have an infested potion input. And let's just take a look real quick. Whoops, that's important. This is just a dropper elevator. So the items go in there and it pops them up to the top and they go over this way into the dispenser. And you can see we have a good amount. The only other trick to this is I have a comparator here so that if it backs up to here, it'll power this line, which goes down and powers, like, overrides the dropper elevators. That way we don't ever waste potions. So you just put them in here. And if we go back up here, we should see there was one with 5, so there should be 3 in either this one or that one. Yeah, 3 in there. Completely silently, which is pretty nice. We also moved the hatch to go down to the stone area. So I don't really know if there's much more to ever do down here, but we do have a hatch to go and look at it. It's kind of nice. And this house, I looked up an image on Google and just was looking at houses, and I found one that I kind of liked. And this isn't a block for block replica, but it's similar and different at the same time. We've got some, I don't know, I'm pretty happy with it. If we look at it from a distance as well, I think it looks good. The only thing, and it's going to bother you so much if you haven't seen it already, now you're going to see it. Well, this I designed to be 8 by 8 so that we could get a stack per layer. Well, that's even, which means the door lines up off center. But it's not a huge deal. It's not a huge deal. And I'm going to tell myself it's not a huge deal probably every day for the rest of time. um, Also, we built this little well over here. Just kind of building a little bit of lore, but it also has a dual purpose. This water goes all the way down so that if for some reason my elytra broke or something, I can swim up that, but I can also, and I don't know why I made this a thing, but I can turn that water off. And then it stops over there, and then you go back and you can flip it, flip that trap door, and the water turns back on. Simple, stupid, but it makes the world feel like there's purpose, which is really nice. And what else have we done in between? You started growing some trees. We went to get the armadillos. So if we go about, I don't know, 1,500 blocks maybe that direction, that's where I got the armadillos. There's a couple interesting biomes. There's a cold biome and a hot biome real close to each other, which is surprising to me. Yeah, a couple other things that we have done. We had to go into the nether to find the zombified piglin. And so I just have a big, hello, big chunk mowed out because I was just trying to get them to spawn. And once we're back in the overworld, a couple weird things happen. Since this portal is so high in the sky, get out of here. Since the portal is so high in the sky, when I was originally coming back, it was putting me down in the ocean somewhere, in caves. And I'm pretty sure that light right there is where I came up. And that light actually takes us down to a cave spider spawner. So we might do something with that at some point. This light actually goes to a trial chamber that I found. So if we want to get blaze rods, we have them pretty close by, which is really nice. And I guess I didn't show you the underside of this island either. We went through, changed a couple blocks out in a couple places, and added glow lichen and torch berries. So it kind of keeps it a little bit light. The only other thing that we kind of need to do is figure out if we're going to build something that kind of tells the story that it's being held up by, technology of some kind. But I just haven't landed on any sort of design that looks good for that. And then we're building the next island. So this is the big part where I'm kind of building the island in reverse. For this island, I started at the bottom and I just built layer up by layer up. And I think overall looks pretty good. It's not bad. This one, we're doing it in reverse. I've built the outline of the top. So if we look out from afar, the 2 layers here are the outline layers. And inside, I have measured out how many moss farms we can put in here. So I have a moss farm that I've built before. I have it in a creative world. And it is 23 by 23 because we want the stone generators to not ever interfere with each other. So they're pushing 12 blocks. Yeah, we might be able to shrink that down, actually. I guess you could make it 13 by 13, couldn't you? Because then they wouldn't interfere because the push limit would mess up. I don't know. Everyone in Minecraft always thinks how much can I compact this? But here's a little secret tip and trick. Minecraft is infinite. There's so much space. You could make it more compact. Do you need to make it more compact? That's a more important question. So I'm going to leave it at 23 by 23, which could be compacted, but it's not a huge deal. Um, so yeah, we're going to start building the moss farms next because I want to make sure that the stone part of the island, the outer shell, does not interfere with the moss farms. I think what I'll do is I'll build one, and then we'll come back. I'll explain what I've done, kind of show you. It's kind of an interesting design. The stone generator part explicitly. Well, there's a couple interesting parts. So I'll build one. We'll come back and take a look at it. We'll be right back. All right, so we have step one of the, oh man, not even step one, part one of step one for the moss farm, which is a stone generator. And this is a very weird stone generator. I had a couple specific things that I needed it to do. The first one being, I want it to be tileable. I want each individual part to have a stone generator. Next, I wanted to be able to put 4 different sides on it. The sun's going down, so we're going to hurry up. So what this does, there are sticky pistons down below connected to each of these blocks. There's stairs that are waterlogged above. We have the same stone detector right here, and it goes up here with a tick of 3 to these pistons, and down here with a tick of 2 to the bottom pistons. Oh gosh, I don't think we're gonna make it. Wait till day. All right, movie magic. Sun's on the other side now. So this is very odd because we're actually not using any regular pistons. So you might think, how in the world are we pushing stone and not having it come back with us? So what happens is stone is generated right where this water block is. The bottom sticky piston can't push it because there's going to be too many stone blocks in the way. What's going to happen first is this piston lifts up. Is that right? No. Sorry. This doesn't lift up yet. Let's start over. Stone gets generated. This pushes it out. The sticky piston lifts up so that the sticky block, because it's the slime block, can pull back without the stone, and then the stone comes back down. Very weird setup, but this solves a lot of the issues that I was having. So let's go ahead. We'll plop down. I need to just make sure the lava doesn't flow out here. And we plop down the lava right here. You can put a lava source above each of them, and I will do that eventually. But for right now, all right, we're getting close. One source block can work for each side. Something's wrong. Okay, time to debug. Be right back. Okay, I think I fixed it. I had a timing issue. I said these are set to 2, but I had set them to 3. So I said the right thing, but I did the wrong thing. So 3 ticks. Torches. The bottom is all on 2 ticks now. Perfect. I did end up adding some obsidian here just because if this is running while you are like loading the chunk, I think there's a potential that the redstone tick offset can be messed up. So just for safe, peace of mind, I'm going to do that. Let's go ahead and try it again. Make sure it's working. I got to wait for the lava to flow. And I do know when it does mess up like that, it's kind of annoying to fix. So that obsidian gives me a lot of peace of mind. There we go. Very weird. So it'll push out a block. This one pulls up so that the other one can retract. And it should push out. Yeah, perfect. We don't want it to go any further than that. And then I just have to replicate this on the 4 sides. That way we can get the maximum amount of stone being pushed in to a moss farm all at once. So let me do that. Alrighty. we have worked on this quite a lot. I messed up many times and had to rebuild it. So we're going to take a look, and I'm going to show you what changes we've done. Just real quick, looking at the redstone, we have moved it all back one. When they were closer, they were interfering, like this side would mess with that side, and that caused a bunch of issues, and I could not figure that out for the longest time. We're at 3 ticks on the top, 2 ticks on the bottom, and they're linked with a repeater here and a repeater here. They're not, it's not symmetrical because it has to go down, and then this has to power the block because it powers the bottom line and the top line. You'll notice this this side specifically is different. It's missing its middle operator. I can take out the rest of the middle as well, but I'll show you why in a second. The whole thing, I had to create a clock to power it. So I have this clock here. It's a ether hopper clock. I believe it's 4 stone in there. 2, 3, 4. Yep. And that goes into a monostable circuit. You can ignore this part. I'm just using this to turn the thing on and off because originally I was using a repeater clock and I just didn't take this out. And this is all going to move anyway, so I'm not too worried about this. The clock will be the same though. I'm going to have to move it so that it's not in the 6 farms we're going to have going. Of course, it's getting nighttime. What else has changed? Okay. We have the moss growing system in here. It's kind of weird. We have a respawn anchor there because it's a immovable object that I believe allows light through. There's a reason for it. Okay, let's sleep the night away. All right, so the respawn anchor is there. It has some unique properties. It can't be pushed because why don't we want it to be pushed? I don't know why we have that there, but we have that there. And I'm going to leave it. I designed it and had it important. You'll notice there's a waterlogged chest here. So that is because it cannot be pushed, and we're using that kind of as a collection system so that we don't have to have more trapdoors. Excuse me. You can see that when the water pushes out, it goes all the way to here. And you might be thinking we're losing some efficiency, but actually when you grow the moss block from below, this is the largest area. Like all the exposed stone is the largest area. Of course, this spot itself and this spot are lost in efficiency, but I think it's pretty good. Then if we go down here, this stone is actually important. The light's not so much, but the stone is because we have to have a solid stone layer from this moss block so that it grows up to the top layer. Very weird, but that's just how moss works. Our line from the clock comes in here. It's a little complicated here. Right here is a counter. We have 3 blocks in here, so every tick, you can see when this tick goes, this loses 1. Oh, it's a 2 counter. We could probably do this in better ways, but I didn't know how many counts I wanted it to do. So you put in a number of items here, and after that number of pulses come through, then all of them go back into this one, and it starts counting again, and it gives you a pulse off of this torch. This torch is going to this target block, which pushes the piston, so it clears off the top of the moss block. And it also goes to our dispenser, which will have bone meal in it. And then lastly, this weird line is a pulse extender that goes up to the trapdoors so that the trapdoors open and stay open for a short time. So you can see it's not just a click, click. There's a long click, click on the trapdoors. Open, close. And that gives it enough time to release the water and then for it all to get out of the way before the next bone meal growth. Very temporary solution, but I have a little composter right here. I have some bone meal on the bottom, but I just want to do a quick test. We're going to throw 16 bone meal in there and see how many bone meal we get out, because we should have a surplus. And we can watch it work now. And I'll just fast forward. Okay, we have reached the limit. You can see even just with 16 there, the hopper cannot keep up. So this is why you're going to have to I'm just going to help with this a little bit. But even with this setup, you're going to have a multi-composter situation because it overfills it. I'm not sure how many it takes. I'm guessing 3 or 4. But we'll have to do some testing with that. And that's not even including... Whew. So if we... Are we already over... Ooh, are we already over 16? Yeah. I mean, it almost doubles your bone meal. Pretty crazy. Well, actually, it's going to over double our bone meal. And there's, you know, random chance with this, but... We'll help it with these moss blocks, and then we will talk about it and come back to see. And it's a lot. We'll come back in a second and see how well we did. And we can turn it all off over here so we don't have to listen to that piston sound. But this is the design I'm going for. This also leaves it very nicely open. You can put a block there and then just have a square of glass here. Actually, you have to go up 1 block above because you don't want to block the water off. So 1 more block higher and then a square of glass. And you can kind of look down at it as it's operating. And I love that in a farm. Having a good vantage point is always very satisfying. And then, finally, we're going to have to take all of these items, convert them to bone meal, refill the hopper, and then the bonus bone meal is going to all go to a central area. I'm actually thinking maybe I do 5 of these farms and have the center area be where, like, the building is that stores it all and handles all the extras. And then if that's the case, I might redo the outline a little bit, go a little farther out that way so we could have 8. So you're like surrounded by all the bone meal farms. Be kind of cool. I actually really like that idea. The only thing is, it's a very inorganic shape. You'd have a perfect square. So I'll just have to build off to the side a lot more. But that's not a big deal. We can do that. All right, I don't think I hear the composter anymore. Did we get through it all? 45, so almost 3 times our bone meal. And all we have to do is actually just shoot that right back into there. But for right now, I don't actually know what I want to do next. So I want to build more of these or build the center part. I'm not sure. We will get back to it and work more on that. But for right now, I'll catch you in just a little bit after we've done some of that work. Be right back. Progress is continuing. And I just didn't realize how big a project this is. If you multiply anything by 8, it's going to take a lot longer. But taking a quick break from this, I've realized we need more slime. And I thought about it. I was like, normally I would find slime chunks, create a passive slime farm, but we don't have to do that anymore. So I've created a little setup to test if this works or not. We are going to temporarily utilize this farm to start our slime farm. Well, only for this time. So we light that, put that back. We're going to leave this off. Or no, we're going to close that. We're going to start it. And you see I have a little pathway here. We'll let those guys build up, and we'll go sleep real quick. Okay, for real. Okay, very noisy. Let's go to sound and turn hostile mobs down to maybe like 15%. Okay. And there's, you can see they're cramming. So we're going to release them. I've tried to make sure that there's a pathway that does not interfere with any stone on the island. But we all know that that's never going to be fully capable. Oh, I forgot to leave a spot for me. Oh, they're... I guess some of them at cram damage. I guess I can stand up here and lead them, can't I? Come on, guys. This way. This is cool. I've never really worked with silverfish that much. So we have a pit down there. The more we can start with, the better, I think. So we'll just keep pulling them. After this bunch, we should be good enough to start. Because if this doesn't work, I don't want to be spending all this time moving them back and forth. So that's satisfying. Okay, so you can see we have 3 potions here. We have infestation, poison, and oozing. That is weird to look at. Okay, so infestation. I'm gonna throw that down. Then poison. Shouldn't that create more of them? Was that it? Oh, they might be at 1 heart. I guess that's why you don't use it on them. Okay, if that's the case, let's eat up. We might pull more into the pit. Let's go pull as many as we can over here. Come on, guys. This way, this way. No, this way. Interesting. I thought more would spawn off of that, but I guess silverfish probably don't have very much HP to start with. Go back over here, pull the next batch. And after this one, we're going to go ahead and do the last part of this, I guess. How long does this last? 3 minutes. Okay, that's plenty. Let's give this a go. Oh gosh, I gotta... Oh, let me out of there. Okay, and we don't want them to despawn, so we gotta stay close. Okay. It's a little dangerous. Oh, yep, some of them are going into the ocean, but that's fine. I think they are cramming. Let's throw another oozing in there to get the current slimes so that they spawn more slimes. I wish I could reach. Oh, I can't reach. I can't reach. Oh, smokes. We gotta catch them when they're jumping up. And then our sweeping edge. Oops. This is interesting. Oh, maybe 3 up for the slimes. Knock them down. Got you. Got you. Nope. Got you. And really, we're just doing this for the slime farm aspect of it. So I'm curious how well this works, because if so, we can not rely on a passive mob farm, and that will free up our mob cap. Look at them all. And that means our other mob farms will become more efficient, which would be awesome. So we use 2 potions of oozing. We'll have to take into account that that costs something, you know? It's not free. What did we end up with? Did we even get a stack? Not even a stack. Oh, I was hoping for better. I mean, 41's not bad, and it's on demand. So, like, that isn't nothing, but... Okay, well, it was an idea. Maybe we can find a way to make it better. Like, if we drop all the silverfish from two armadillos being afraid into a pit. I bet you we could get more silverfish. And if we did that, how do we kill them afterwards? Maybe potions of harming. Yeah, they must have very low health. A little closer, buddy. A little closer, buddy. So you can reach them down there. That's nice to know. I don't think we lost any stone this time, which is good. Stop it. There you go. There he is. Okay. And then for this other side, we can that, open this back up, and put out the fire. I guess there were still some more. Okay. All cleaned up. Aside from this big pit that we're gonna have to clean up. Okay, well, 41 slime blocks. It's not the worst thing. I'm gonna have to debate if that's worse or better. Like, having it on demand is actually really fun and interactive, and I think that's a better slime farm than a passive one. So I'll probably end up doing it, but we'll have to make a different island for it that's a little safer, so that there's no chance of the stone being completely mangled. Although, right now... Okay, I'm gonna leave this up because we will need more slimes for this build. So I'll probably end up doing this again, but I figured I'd show you where I'm getting all my slime from, because we need more slime blocks for the farm. Current moment, we have almost all the honey placed. We have a bunch of the torches placed. The top repeaters are up and toggled. We need to place the next pistons, because there's two sets of pistons. Let's look at the completed one. There's this set, which is right there, but there's also the ones that are up top, right here, and I don't have those yet. And there's not a great way to place those quite yet, because you have to be facing up to push it, to place it so that the piston head is facing down. So, a little bit more to do. I'd say maybe we're halfway done with all of it. And that's, well, halfway done with the blocks placed, but with the collection, maybe only a quarter of the way done, because we have a lot of repeaters to collect, which requires so much redstone. We have a lot more to do. So anyway, quick break, but now we'll get back to the grind. After much time and great work, I think I have all of the basics of this complete. I think I have the structure done. All we have to do left is test it, make sure everything's growing properly. And after that, there's only all the rest of the work, such as creating a structure to compost it, and then to bring it all to a central area and either craft it or, do stuff with it, basically. But I've loaded all of the dispensers below with 16 bone meal each, I believe. And I think I've done it all right. One of the tricks, I see an issue right now. Let's go fix that. One of the tricks that I did is I didn't rotate the design. Like, normally I would try to rotate each one to make it so that maybe all the collection parts are on the inside, but I did not do that. And because of that, I can see there's an issue with this one, because we don't want this one connected. I can undo these later and get some of my materials back, but I was, in that mode where you're like, okay, each side's basically the same. Let's keep that going. Oops. And I think we're actually ready now. So I'll go start it. We'll make sure they're all growing and collecting. They are all currently hooked up just to a single hopper collection system. So, there we go. Where's my happy ghast? I'm seeing it. That's not supposed to do that. It looks like it was a one-time thing. Maybe that's fine. I'm seeing it working. I think I've seen all of them have moss, which is important. That one doesn't have very much. Oh, you know what? That one might be my fault. Okay, that one has an issue. That one has a weird issue. That one looks fine. That one looks fine. I don't know why they're not falling down. We'll check on that. Okay, and that might be all the bone meal because this one's done. I don't know why that one's not doing it anymore. Okay. We'll do some debugging, and then let's take a look at a collection system. All right, so we just started the system up. We threw in a bunch of bone meal. And I'm just doing a quick test here to see how many... Oh yeah, by the way, there is a little bit of loss because the block that goes right there, I don't collect. Not a big deal. It's like one potential bush or seed of loss. Or carpet, you know. But anyway, we're doing this test. All I have... Oops. That's not supposed to happen. Let's pick those up and put a block there. That'll fix that. Okay. We have the blocks falling down right there, and there's a little water stream. I'm just going to keep picking up blocks. Water stream there. I shouldn't have done that, because that's... Okay, it's fine. Sorry, I'm getting a little sidetracked everywhere. But you can see it just falls down. It goes across 5 hoppers, and those are all hooked up to 5 composters. And I just want to see how far down the line they get. And if we leave it going for a long period of time, like if I fill this all the way up, where does it ever get to the 5th one is the real question. We can already see it gets to the 4th one every now and then. And it might not even be worth doing the 4th one if we never overfill this one. But we have to let this run for a while to kind of saturate itself and see if 4 composters is enough. But you can see from the top, it's very satisfying to watch. I love the little innovations here. Having the water fall off of there so it perfectly ends up where there's one spot they all go to, and then that spot's a waterlogged chest because the water helps pull it out of there, and the chest is immovable. I don't know, that's pretty cool. And also, I mean, it just works. Oh man, it just works so nicely. I love it. The only downside is that means that this block doesn't have the potential for a block to push from this angle. So every now and then a block will be left, oops, right there. But that's okay. I have disconnected the other 7 for the moment, so we're only running 1 right now. And we're just doing the testing. I'm going to let this saturate itself, and let's take a look at how far it goes. Okay, we've been letting this run for, I don't know, 20 minutes almost. Let's throw the last dregs in just to overload it a little bit. That's the stuff that comes from the middle block. And I see stuff in the 4th one. Ooh, I see... Ooh, interesting. Oops, I didn't mean to pick up stuff. That is interesting. We see stuff in the 5th one. You know what? To make this test better, I should have had them run to their each individual barrels so we could see how many bone meal we're having come out. But it's not insignificant. The trick is, for me, if this one had more in it. Because I think if I covered this one with a block, this one would be able to handle all of it. In fact, wow, this one doesn't even have any overloaded. I think what's happening is it's moving so fast. This one's picking up, you know, the blocks and the bushes. And once it picks up an item, I believe it has a cooldown on when it picks up the next one. I think we're going to be fine at 4. Like, it's used occasionally. You might even be able to be fine at 3. A little riskier. And there's only one thing we can do, is that's correct our test. So, I don't have any more chests. But I will set up a new test. We'll do another 20 minutes real quick just to double check, because this is part of the process, is checking all the different things that you can do. Let's use some barrels. All right. I will get the next test set up, do it, and show you some results. Hello, everybody. I have some good news and some bad news. The good news is I've been working really hard on making the moss farm great and decorating it, and it's 95% done, so that's great. The bad news is I started editing this video, and I'm kind of new to recording and editing, and we've lost some footage. So we've gotten a lot done, and you're not going to see a lot of the building process behind that. So I'm going to give you a recap. We left off and we had just built one unit, and we were testing out the hopper efficiency, and that's great. So what I started doing from there is I hooked them all up, and then I sent it all to a central location, and then I decided to build on the top of the island, so I made that look good. And so the theme I went for this second island is an aqueduct type area, you know, holding all the water. It's a moss farm. I think it looks thematically appropriate, but you don't get to see any of the building process. You just get to see the finished product, and it's not completely finished by any means. I've been working on this bridge just now, so I built a little bridge from one island to the other, and truly, this aqueduct, I love how this has turned out. It's not complete, but these arches are so much easier with happy gas. Oh my gosh, just going around there building the arch, because normally you have to build a bunch of scaffolding. Let's take a look from the sky. So we have these 4 pools at the top that kind of flow into these aqueduct lines. And I haven't completed the sides. I haven't even finished down on the bottom, but I started decorating with some trees over here. We got some firefly bushes, and all the units are now encased underneath here. So the moss grows down there, and I haven't built the central area. This is why I said it's like 95% done. So if we go down here, let's turn this thing on. You can see we removed this weird circuit part and just have the unit. And you can also tell it gets laggy when this is on. So this is not something I'll do while recording very much. But if we go to the top, we can look down in all these units and see moss being made, and then it all gets pushed in and the stone gets generated, and it's all filtering over there. If we want to go underneath and look at the composting units, it got a little complicated to compact it all. So that's where the water, or that's where the items fall down from, right there. And they go across. Perfect. You can see it happening right there. It all just flows across these 3 hoppers. We only need the 3 hoppers, so our tests worked out pretty well. There shouldn't be any dead spots, so they should all get pushed over. Once it gets composted, it runs over, and there's not a great way to show how it runs over the hopper that feeds the dispenser. Because, yeah, behind this wall, right behind this block, on the right of this block is where that water flows down. That's where we were picking up items. And then the bone meal, yep, it's going across a hopper that's back there, and then it's getting dropped into a water stream. I've redone this water stream because I originally had it going up this water column, but then I started building the top, and it got in the way. So now it's going into this other water column, and you can kind of see right here, yep, bone meal, bone meal. We lucked out, and having these 8 farms barely keeps hopper speed efficiency. I've seen this get up to like 50 bone meal, but it always comes back down. So we're very lucky. Then it gets stuck into the crafter, and you can see this is kind of the speed that we're going at. It's about a bone meal a second. Yeah, not too shabby. It goes into this shulker box loader. And so if we're getting a bone meal a second, we're getting a bone block about every, I don't know, 8 to 10 seconds on average. And that's pretty nice to see. And then it's just going in a chest. Okay, I'm going to turn this off so we're not lagging so much. And you can tell it's really interesting. The lag stops even though there's so many things being composted. It's just all the entities that are flowing around that makes it very laggy. So I didn't know what to build in the center, so I just started building this little aqueduct area because we needed something else on this very flat island originally, and I think this adds so much height and beauty, and it breaks up sight lines, which I think is really nice. We obviously aren't done. I think we need something maybe in the middle up there, and maybe also a big garden area here or something. We need a place where this will send the shulkers up, and you don't have to go down into the redstone ugliness down there to get the bone blocks. And so that's kind of where we're at. And um, again, editing videos is new to me, and I've realized, oh my gosh, this is a very long episode, and people probably aren't going to watch it all the way, and that's fine. But I wanted to try and get most of the island done in one video. So this is kind of where we're at. We have this island that's coming together very nicely. I think if we add some greenery soon, we finish this bridge, we can disconnect for this little temporary bit. And the bottom of the island's done pretty much the same way. I just need to go through with other types of gray blocks like diorite and cobblestone and mossy stone and stuff. But I got all the vines going, which I think adds a lot of life to it. And we started adding the pale hanging moss, which has added a lot of variety and keeps it, it's not too busy, but it's also one of those things that when you look at, you kind of just um, it's just a pleasant thing to look at. So it adds a lot of light, depth, and I like it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you hanging out and going through this whole thing because it's been an ordeal. Um, Sorry that I lost a lot of that footage, but honestly, it might be a blessing in disguise because that would have made this video maybe even twice as long because I am not a quick builder. This took a long time. I typically build all in survival too, and there were multiple edits, and I'd build one and then take it down, and so it's not a quick process. Anyway, I've said quite enough. Thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye bye.